rules set by the society, things that, mindset that we've grown up with, really like very strong factors in our life, and they're very strong things to break. So it's like, how do you tap into your inner power? Like, how do you tap into your inner power?
So I think that's a really great question, and I don't believe there is just one way. So I know how I tap into mine. I've learned that through trying out various modalities, so for me, meditation is really, really important. But I think, it's about being playful with this and finding something that works for you. We are incredibly resourceful as human beings, and we have so many resources available to us as well. The thing is about becoming, well, for me, what I could say is like having a practice, almost like a daily ritual, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, that then builds momentum. And for me, that's how I have tapped into kind of like my inner power. That might not be what works for you, it could be just like there is one set thing that works for somebody else, and it may be something like journaling, or just connecting your thoughts and your pen to the paper. I think it's but it's really about looking inside us. This is where the inner power is. It's like you need to find the tool that works for you, that connects you to that to your inner world.
Your inner world.
But I don't know what the answer is for everybody else.
But I like that. It's like something that connects you to your inner world, because I think that's the thing. It's like these days we live so in our head, and also so connected to external factors that we fail to actually even know what our inner voice is, or even recognize it from the chatter of the mind. And that's why I love what you just said about like finding tools that helps you connect to your inner world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, how often do we find time to just sit and ask this question, how does my body feel right now? We're not really connected to our bodies anymore. And, this is a practice that I'm really working on developing right now. I've been doing it for a few months, and it's steadily becoming more and more powerful. And the level that I've got to now is that I would say, oh, I feel excited, or I feel fearful, or whatever the emotion is. But actually, we can take it even further. We can really get to, what's the sensation that I'm feeling in my body? Because we're too quick to actually label things. But if we can actually get to the sensation and be able to describe the sensation, then that is something completely different again.
Yeah.
So before we came on this call, I was really aware of the sensations that I was feeling in my body. So I wouldn't describe those to you as excitement. I would describe this, just above my heart here, I could really feel like a bubbly sense, a warm, bubbly. It was rising in me, and it was expanding like from the top of my heart. So that was the sensation that I was feeling. But at the same time, I knew I felt very grounded. My feet were on the floor. I felt very connected to the earth. But it's just really, really interesting when you start to explore this. It's like, how much more connected can we get to our body?
Yeah. And also the thing about, one of my couples, and also that thing about permission. I mean, this is one thing I'm going through at the moment, of like actually giving myself permission to just either feel what it is that I feel without fighting it. So like I'm going through this sometimes you feel tired, but you feel like, it's a Monday or it's a Tuesday at 10 o'clock or at 11. And really, you shouldn't be tired at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. And if you feel sleepy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like that is not right. You have to keep working. But, so I'm trying this, actually, if I feel tired, my body feels tired. My body feels tired. If I feel like I need to have a nap at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, I am just going to let that happen, which, you know, it sounds so simple, but actually it's it's a mindset that you actually go over to go to put the ego to the side and go and actually feel what your body is telling you.
Mm. And this is kind of what I was saying when I was talking about how resourceful we are. You know, we have all the resources within us. And I can remember, gosh, going back to sort of 2002, 2003, that was the first time I ever heard that sentence. We have all the resources within us. And I kind of thought, well, I certainly don't. And that was my response. I thought, I don't know very much at all. You know, it's just like, this is why I'm here. I want to learn. You know, I need external resources to teach me. I had no idea what that meant, but actually we have so much wisdom within us. But the key really is to connect with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
While we're still on inner power, I just want to bring a little bit to this idea of so one thing I know with me is since I started this process of like just getting comfortable with myself and getting connected with my inner voice and my inner power, I've noticed more that you're more grounded to see what the next action is. You know, it's almost like things. So you know what the next step is by what opens up. It's almost like a flower that opens, and then you like see that little. I mean, and you know, so even though I said at the beginning that when you're following this calling, it can feel like without a net, but actually it gets to that point when you're so tapped within your inner power that, and then this will bring me to that detachment point actually, that when you're so connected, you almost have this knowing that something will show up, you know, and you're going to know what the next step is going to be. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And that whole piece that you said about, you know, the feeling that there's no net, that's the illusion, isn't it? That's the illusion that we live in. It's not, you know, the truth really necessarily, because everything is always happening for our greatest good all the time.
Yeah.
Just before we move on from inner power, that I guess, you know, the one thing we all have, and we forget so much, the best resource ever is the breath.
Wow. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, I know well, you can't have the in-breath without the out-breath. And this kind of leads into the expansion piece, really. And I had no idea that it led into that until I said it, but I've just
I love this topic actually, because I actually have a little story as well here. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. So kind of what I'm thinking here is like, you know, like you can't breathe in without having an out breath. You know, you have to have one to have the other, and it's it just continues, doesn't it? The breath, we don't think about it, it's involuntary. And I'm thinking about expansion as well. And what I'm thinking about expansion is, you know, sometimes we need to have the contraction. So that's like the inhale, yeah. When we go into fear, we have the contraction, and then like the expansion is the exhale.
Yeah.
So you can't have one without the other. And it's like with the contraction, this is kind of where all the juiciness happens. And, you know, so many people become concerned, upset, depressed when things are not going great. But, you know, if we can start to look at this a little bit differently and look for the lesson that is kind of going on within that contracted period, it can really enable us to, you know, like the flower, just to blossom, you know, to expand, to open, to allow.
Yeah.
And I just think this is just incredibly important. And for me, that kind of starts from the breath.